And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
I am to guitar slingers, to the blues artists of our day. And that's Bonnie Raitt singing right down to the line, the Jerry Rafferty song that she covers with a reggae beat. I was thinking about her today in New York. I remember being a nobody punk kid and hanging out with my friend who's a writer on SNL, Eddie Gorodetsky, and he said, we're going to see Bonnie Raitt, Jones Beach. And I said, yeah, I got no money, I'll do whatever. And suddenly we're sitting in the front row. We see this great concert, and he said, we're going backstage. I go, what do you mean? He goes, we're going backstage. Do you remember what that's like? The first time? Maybe you've never gone backstage. This was the first time I was going backstage. Didn't know what to expect. Rock and roll, drugs, partying. And we walk back, and Eddie is there, and Bonnie Raitt's with her with her band and a lot of people, and she runs right up to Eddie and says, Eddie, good to see you, my friend, and I'm so impressed with Eddie Gorodetsky that he knows Bonnie Raitt. And then she turns to me and she goes, quiet, everybody. I want to introduce you to somebody. This young man right here, Spike Ferriston, just got hired on David Letterman as a writer, and we're going to give him a round of applause. It's a big moment in his life.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
And I was blown away. Blown away. And I don't know, it just popped into my head when I was thinking what song to play.
It's nice to open with your best story.
It's a good story. It's a story that I had forgotten until I was, what am I going to open the show with? And then I thought about Bonnie Raitt and how much I loved her. And I guess she used to hang out with Eddie too, because in the middle of the night I would get phone calls. Remember in New York when there was just nothing to do except watch public access and call each other unless you were going out?
Yeah.
Eddie Gorodetsky and I, he's a very, I think he's doing Mom. I think he worked on that Charlie Sheen show at CBS. Very accomplished guy. But he and I would sit up watching public access psychics and try to get each other's name in it. And we did it like 5 nights a week. And then every once in a while, the phone would ring at 3 a.m. and it would be Bonnie Raitt or some Elvis Costello or just somebody he was hanging out with. Really fun. Anyway, hi, everybody.
I had an agent in New York who said she was married to Elvis Costello. And she used to tell me stories all about him. And she was my agent for years. Don't even remember her name. And then it turned out later that she never was.
What was the story you were telling me?
Would you like to hear that story again?
That is a great, crazy story.
Well, this is a different story. This is a different story, but this is a couple. It's definitely a good bookend to it. Let's go back even a few years before that, before we didn't even have agents. We're going down to the mid-'70s, 76, 77. Me and Larry Miller hanging out at the comic strip, just having fun, doing stand-up, no idea of anything. So this guy approaches Larry. He says, I'm a personal manager. I'd like to meet with you. I think you're very talented. Of course, Larry's thrilled. He takes the guy's number. We're sitting there at the bar afterwards. Wow, I met this guy. He wants to manage me. Oh, my God. We never met anybody who was in show business. The actual thing. Larry goes to the guy's office the next day. Very nice office, sitting there, distinguished-looking guy, jacket, little pocket square. And they're talking and talking and talking. And while they're talking, another guy comes in and starts going through the drawers of this man's desk. The man, should I say the name of the guy?
Yeah,
why not?
of course.
His name is St. Clair.
He's got a meeting with St. Clair.
He's got a meeting. Larry's got a meeting with St. Clair. Sounds like something, right?
Yes.
We don't even realize that's the fakest sounding name you've ever heard. So he's just sitting there, and this guy is rifling through the drawers of St. Clair's desk. He walks out, and Larry says to St. Clair, "Who was that?" And St. Clair says, "I don't know."
That's incredible.
I love the St. Clair story. That was the first time I'd heard it. Who's that? I don't know. I don't know who's going through
my desk or whose desk I'm at.
or whose name I'm using. St. Clair.
St. Clair. If you're out there, please get in touch.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Spike's Car Radio. This is one of the OG shows, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm still unclear who is who. Do you guys know who's Earth?
No.
Who's Wind? Who's Fire? Are you Earth, Jerry?
No, you're Earth. He's Wind. I'm Fire.
And you're there you
I
have
want to
it.
be wind.
Let's start with the GT3. You know, when you last left me, I was complaining a lot, and I apologize for that. I've since taken the car out into the canyons with Jerry. You were there. Mm-hmm. And most importantly, starting with Porsche Connect, one of the listeners, and forgive me, I'll find his name. He had a really weird name. Told me how to auto log in. And it worked. It finally worked, Zuckerman. The car turns on now, it logs in itself, and you won't have to deal with this stuff. So I'm going to turn the car back over to you tomorrow, and it's done thanks to the amazing listeners of Spike's Car Radio. But only one of them really knew how to do this.
I'm glad you took care of it because it ruined the experience for me. I wasn't going to drive it again.
Yeah.
Did you deal with it when you got in the car?
Yes, and I found it very frustrating. I found that I had driven probably a mile down the street without paying attention to driving, just trying to get that screen to go off.
Jacob Flying Camel, Instagram name. Thank you. I still had to go through quite a bit of trouble, and of course I heard from many people who are also having it, and trips to the dealership and the rest. We also heard that Porsche Connect has heard our complaints and may do something about it, which is nice. But I don't want to belabor the point. It's done. It's ready for you to drive. It took a week of nonsense. But the car, Zuckerman.
You called me last Sunday.
Canyon.
You called me very excited.
What did I say?
You said you figured out what this car is about and where to use it. You were losing your mind.
What car were you in, Jerry? I forget. You were behind me.
I was in
the lightweight
993 RS.
Oh,
no, that was last.
Was it the 73 lightweight?
Yeah, it was the 73 lightweight. That's
73
right.
RS lightweight.
And I was not driving fast because I had young Jack in the car as well. But the fluidity of the experience, the grippy grip of those tires.
It's really more the synaptic closure. Do you know, when you're in a car that is performing well, what you're enjoying is the fact that what you're thinking is happening quickly. Because obviously the thought has to go to the motor drive of your muscles, then to the connectivity of the car, through the tie rods, through the rubber, till the car actually moves. So the time between that thought, I think I'm just going to slide left a little, to the car actually doing it, that length of time is what thrills the sports car enthusiast. And how tight is the reaction to the thought?
The first time I ever felt that was in the Tangerine 73 RS.
Right.
That car was just an extension of my thinking.
I'd love to discuss that car with you when you have a moment.
Yeah, both of us would.
Anytime.
And Sam, too. We'd all like to get back in. Can we cleave it up into 4 pieces?
We can always have a conversation. Nothing is ever
waiting
off
for the market
table.
to go down, which
Yes.
it doesn't seem to do. But anyway, the car is amazing, Zuckerman.
The car is amazing. I drove it like 2 miles on a straight road, but just being in it with Spike driving, I could not believe, I could feel just as a passenger that this is a completely different interactive platform of driver to car to pavement.
The question I have is, you were mentioning your 991 GT3 RS, and you're feeling that the 992 GT3 is such an improvement. But I wonder objectively, in terms of time around the ring or something like that, how different it actually is.
You would think, well, what do I know about time around the ring? How could I possibly tell the difference between a wishbone suspension and what it used to have?
But you can. You can. It does feel different. Yeah. It feels better. And that's always the great mystery. How can they make it always feel better when you think they're at the ultimate end of development?
They don't have anything else to do is the answer to that question. They got to spend a whole week every week doing something.
Well put.
What can we do?
Right. Well done, Porsche.
But
are you getting one, Jerry? I mean, you were really taken by it.
I'm not.
You're not.
Because it doesn't fit. So I'm in the 991 GT3 RS coming up here, and it is a more compliant ride than your GT3. It is quieter. It's smaller.
Think about that statement.
That's
right
a
there.
weird statement.
That quieter.
An RS will be quieter than a GT3 Touring.
Than a GT3 Touring. So they're kind of playing games here with the name. My RS is a better touring car than your Touring. Okay?
That's the title of today's episode.
My RS is
it's true. He's not wrong. He's not
now,
wrong.
it doesn't have that same fine focus that your car has. That's a dramatic difference that you will feel, and you'll be thrilled by it. But I don't like the larger size.
Yeah.
But the experience is so addictive, and honestly, I'm not, because I'm on this show, I can admit things I wouldn't admit anyplace else. I have not stopped thinking about it, because when you experience a new, more advanced sensation than you've ever felt before in a car, you know, if you're a car person, that's like a lightning bolt into your skull. You go, wow, that was better than anything I've ever felt.
Yeah. That's happened a couple times with me in your car, the 74 911. It's a feeling you don't forget.
Yeah.
It's a drive you never forget.
Any new Porsche should make you feel like everybody else on the road is a slug but me.
Yeah.
That's how you should feel.
That you have, what did you tell me, the best pair of tennis shoes?
And everyone else is in dress shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you need a car, Collecting Cars has some right now. You can go there. They have a 1959 Ferrari 250 GT Coupe Pininfarina. Look at that car. Beautiful classic Grand Tourer, benefiting from a full engine rebuild, braking system overhaul. Under the hood is the numbers matching 3.0 Tipo 128 Colombo V8. 212 horsepower back then. That's what made a Ferrari, you guys. Isn't that amazing?
Full engine rebuild.
Let's see what else they have. You don't believe that?
I believe it. I'd like to ask a few more questions.
Here's a car, 64 Ford Mustang hardtop Indy 500 pace car. Eye-catching Ford Mustang Coupe, Indianapolis 500 pace car, factory-built, numbered replica. This car is an official tribute to the 3 convertible Mustangs modified for the pace car duties in 1964 race, and is presented in very good condition. I thought a car like that came up recently with us, Zuckerman. Do you remember that?
Let's see the Ferrari.
Hold on. Here, you can look at that. Here, just tear it off. Tear that piece off right there.
Oh.
And Superbike Sunday consignment now is coming up live from the 17th to the 24th. Following the success of Supercar Sunday in March, Collecting Cars is launching a special global auction event just for Superbikes in April. Consignments are invited for the dedicated online-only auction event for Superbike owners around the world, bringing together a variety of high-performance bikes. Lots of great bikes. Look at that. 2008 Ducati Desmodici RR 2022. Collecting Cars and now motorcycles. Why sell your cars anywhere else? No ordinary auction, no ordinary cars, and lots of cool stuff. Be careful with that microphone, Mr. Seinfeld. All right. Lots going on, you guys.
So the reason I haven't ordered the GT3 is because I always like the RS flavor. I want the ultimate flavor, the end of the formula. What is the most concentrated formula? And
have they announced?
Demands patience.
What are we waiting for? Shouldn't we know by now about RSs, GT3 RSs, 992s, and GT2 RSs?
Why would they tell us about something when they're trying to sell us what they currently have? This is their game.
They don't have anything.
They're going to. Well, we got a GT3. We got lucky.
Thanks to Dean. Yes, we got a GT3 RS.
Thanks to our friends
Thanks
in
to
Florida.
our friends in Florida.
Did you? I was going to send. I think I sent you Doug DeMuro's GT3 RS.
I watched all of it.
How about the drive? He lost it on the drive.
That's my favorite thing, when someone loses it on the drive.
Yeah.
I like to go back 10 and 15 years and watch someone lose it in cars that aren't that fast anymore. That's my favorite thing. But I was thinking just about Doug DeMuro's presentation. His likability is so high, and he's goofy at the same time.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind being goofy.
Yeah.
What is that? When you watch, what makes him so good at what he does?
The same thing that makes Chris Harris good. They're genuine in their enthusiasm.
Right.
Their enthusiasm is genuine, and we recognize that. And those guys will always do well in the car. These other guys that try to be polished, they try to be, funny or interesting. It's horrible. Let me see. Are you really enjoying driving this car?
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah.
You can tell.
You could tell. Did you watch it?
You did. You sent it to me.
I know.
I did.
Did you watch it?
That wasn't the question.
No, you did send it to me. I did watch it.
Jerry is a student. He's a student of YouTube. He has all sorts of favorite automotive YouTubers.
And Jason Camisa just came out with a video, a Lucid, a Plaid, and a 20-year-old M5. He did a quarter mile with those three cars, and the M5 got to start at 70 miles an hour. The other two cars standing start, and it's still lost. There's a 20-year-old car, but it was, pretty much
that
a very
is
fast
remarkable.
car.
Who are your favorite obscure automotive YouTubers?
I love Savage Geese. Those guys are fantastic.
What are they?
They're two weird guys. One guy's really techie, but they don't choke in front of the lens. I can't stand people that the camera goes on and you see the fear in their eyes and the throat tightens up, and I can't watch that.
And where is Savage Geese?
Don't get on camera if you don't belong there.
Right. Or do another take.
Do another take.
You don't have a crew wrapped around. You just keep shooting.
I like Seen Through Glass. That guy's another guy who has very genuine enthusiasm. A British guy. I don't even know his name.
It helps to be British in this game.
Oh, yeah. Because they're good with words.
Yes.
But please, somebody make a list of cliches we don't want to hear anymore.
Yes.
Nobody's mind is blown. Okay?
What else? What other cliches really?
Nothing goes to 11. Stop stealing from Spinal Tap. We're sick of it. On every road test, this is a turbo, so this one, shut up.
This is a really helpful tip from Jerry, and he's right about it. I've actually taken this tip. We've been writing for so long again. You get lazy and you gravitate towards cliches, and you won't have it.
No, because we're all sick of it.
We're all sick of it. It's your job. It's my job to come up with something new.
With a new cliche.
Yeah.
Sweet Fancy Moses. That was that moment. If you don't think he walks the walk. He said, we're not going to do, oh my God, what else do you got? And we panicked. And then Jeff Schaefer said, Sweet Fancy Moses? You went, yes! And it's in his script, and now you can't use that either. Now I'm getting angry. Porsche.
Don't tell me it goes like stink.
Oh.
Or a scalded cat. Shut up.
A scalded cat.
Did you ever think about doing your own YouTube channel?
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, I have thought about it. In the future. Yeah. That will be our next project after this.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's the only thing people are watching. But
I'll tell you, this Jason Camisa video, the production that went into it, it was kind of blew me away. Slow-mo stuff. They're really putting some money into these things now.
He's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. I really like to look at these guys and figure out what makes them have all of these followers. But you're right. They have genuine enthusiasm. They don't care about how they dress.
Right.
They don't even care. Nobody cares either. And they get cool cars.
And if they can drive, if they can really drive, like Chris Harris said.
Or Jethro Bovington, he can really drive.
He's great too.
Yeah.
Well, you've made some people really happy tonight, Jerry.
Yeah.
Imagine what they're going to be doing when they hear this.
These savage geese guys.
And I also like
the savage geese. Are they American? Or are they English? Or?
Yeah, no, they're American, but they're super knowledgeable and technical.
Right.
And they put the car up on a lift and they go through everything that's different about this one. And I don't know what these guys do for a living. I can't believe they do this.
That's it.
That's it. You can't do anything else. If you're putting the car in the lift and going through each part.
Yeah, that's it.
Pierre Hidari, for you Mercedes diesel fans. Pierre Hidari, if you have 3 extra hours a day that you need filled with diesel talk, I highly recommend Pierre Hidari.
Is that the guy from Florida?
That's the guy from Florida,
yeah,
Central Florida.
He's good.
Yeah, and he's all about saving money and he just wants to diesel the whole world. Old Mercedes diesels. He understands the greatness of it. But I'll tell you, Spike, as I drive around these days, I have to admit something. When I see a Tesla, I feel a little scared. I feel like,
oh yeah,
I think that guy's probably faster than me.
It's happened to me. Happened to me today.
And you feel like that feeling I always had for so many years in the latest, greatest 911. Now there are other ways that that plaid thing, 2.1 to 60.
I had a Y on my tail, and I was in a little sporty deal.
Yeah.
I was surprised that he was right there.
Sure.
Yeah. They're quick. They are quick.
You have to be impressed with what they've done.
We are at the final development stage of this electric typewriter.
Yeah.
This is it.
Right.
You could have the greatest typewriter in the world. It's finished.
Or you just get a Tesla and you enjoy it.
I don't want to.
But do you really want to?
I don't. No, I want to live in my world now.
Yeah.
You know, we never talked to Johnny about the Mission E because he took that around the track in Mallorca. I guess that was me last week. I never asked him.
What's the Mission E? You mean the Mission R?
Is it the Mission R?
Yeah.
That's
the Mission R. The Porsche electric race car.
Yeah, well
that's a car you can buy at a dealership. That's the game changer.
Right.
Because it's got aero and
Shall we
electric.
speculate what we think the next better than anything Porsche is going to be? The hypercar, supercar?
We talked about it last week on the show.
Oh, okay.
That's about, and nobody has any new information. They're pretty tight-lipped. They know that you're a leak now. That they don't seem to be leaking anything to you.
I'm a little busy. I don't talk to anybody. What do you think it'll be? Think it'll be electric?
It's got to be.
Why?
The 918 was a hybrid, and we have to go electric. That's where this is going.
Here's why I don't think it is.
You want the fastest car, it's going to be electric.
Let me read you a headline, and I would have agreed with you. Porsche invests $75 million into synthetic fuel startup, gas made from carbon captured out of the atmosphere, possibly coming to a fuel pump near you.
It's going to take a lot more than $75 million. That's not going to result in a new fuel.
Do you understand what they're even saying?
No.
Automakers, but this gives you a very clear direction for performance cars, the ones we like. Automakers of long-lasting collectible enthusiast cars like Porsche, Audi, Koenigsegg are desperate to keep their heritage on the road in the face of cataclysmic warming world. Porsche is putting its money where its mouth is, investing that money in a synthetic fuel startup. Now, see if you can follow this. They've put $22 million into a Chilean startup.
No, Chilean.
The Haru Oni is in the testing phase, already producing a small amount of e-fuel in Chile. Here is the process. Now, this is the piece I've been wanting to know. Good luck following it. The process of making the fuel is fascinating. Wind-produced electricity is used to make green hydrogen through electrolysis.
Wow.
HIF Global then synthesizes the hydrogen with captured CO2. After refining that, the fuel can be used in your average combustion engine from the lowliest Geo Metro to the slickest Boeing 747.
I wish the listeners could see my face as you're reading this.
Sure, it belches CO2 back out.
Bunch of bullshit ever.
It belches out CO2, but it's not really adding that much. Can you follow any of that? Windmills?
It does.
Does this seem like PR? It seems like PR, right?
PR. No one's inventing new fuel for $22 million. but it gives me an idea that I'm going to come up with something like that I can get them to give me $22 million. Just so that they can say something like that. That's not working.
We take.
Zuckerman, did you talk on the phone today with anyone about cars? About something that somebody has? Anything on them?
I did. A guy I know has got himself a Ferrari Testarossa with 18,000 kilometers.
Wow.
It's red with a brown interior. Another guy I know, and this is a guy who's a car guy, but he's starting to go in that direction. Another friend of mine who I didn't know was a car guy by the name of Andrew, just got a 1971 280 SL. Kind of a dove gray, maybe creamy white one.
Wow.
And another guy, Spike, the guy that we sold our 87, our silver metallic.
The meth car.
Yes, he just bought a really low mile 996 GT3.
Wow.
So people are...
Those are great cars.
Those.
I love those cars.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, those are cool.
He got it on Bring a Trailer. I think the final closing price was in the mid hundreds.
Really?
Yeah, those cars.
Spike once got airborne in his 996 GT3 and changed lanes.
I did?
Yeah, the car came off of the pavement.
Where?
Changed lanes. I don't know. You just told me. You said I jumped into the air.
I remember hooning it around that Las Vegas track. Do you remember that? Remember you rolled it into your Vegas appearance that they would give us racetrack time.
Yeah, that was absurd.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Still got pictures of that day.
That's show business, man. Yeah. When the casino says, what do you want?
Yeah.
I expecting him to say girls and drugs. And I want you to give us the racetrack for a day. And they go, okay. And then we raced around and I blew my engine. And I brought it in.
You did?
You've heard this story. You've heard this story, but I'm going to repeat it for those of you listening who haven't heard this story. And they said, we found metal in your engine. You're going to need a new engine. And I said, no problem. And Jack Murphy said, the only thing is, you didn't have it on a racetrack, did you? And I said, nope. And he goes, you sure? Because the head of Porsche service is going to have to approve this. And I went in my head going, I think that's the guy Jerry just introduced me to at the Las Vegas track. And it was. And I said...
Rick Perkins.
Yeah, it was Rick Perkins. And I said, yeah, no, I never had it at a racetrack. And somehow it went through. I guess I didn't make an impression on Rick that day. But the only guy who didn't have to know about this was there with me.
Witnessing the crime.
Have you started spring cleaning yet? The carpets, the cleaning, the drapes, the dusting. Oh, this is Jerry's favorite company. Your lawn really needs mowing. Spring has sprung, and the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming have the best tools for cleaning. Aisle 5 in your pants. Time to clear out your winter bush and join the 4 other million men who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code SPIKE20. Manscaped has the full package you need for spring cleaning this year. The Performance Package 4.0, the only tool you need to keep your boys looking good and smelling like fresh tulips your partner wants. Do you like this writing, Jerry?
And if you act now, a free box of Post Big Manly cereal.
Free cigar inside. Unwrapped.
In the cereal.
Big Manly's.
Big Manly's.
Big Manly's. Now a cigar. To start off your spring cleaning, use Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. You guys know I love this. I use it. My dog uses it. My kid, James, comes out of the shower now smelling like Manscaped. My wife hates it. They have Manscaped shampoo and all sorts of things. You know, you just throw it into the kids' showers. I love it. I absolutely love it. Get 20% off free shipping with the code SPIKE20 at manscaped.com. 20% off free shipping. SPIKE20 at manscaped.com. Thank you, Manscaped. Love you. There's more news, guys, unless you want to go in a direction. I have more things to talk about. But
what about some questions from the
We'll get there.
The fans?
We'll do that after the final.
Oh, all right.
Or we can do 2 sets.
Whatever you want to do.
James Garner's Heuer watch. Now, my neighbor, James Garner, I was there the night he died smoking this very cigar, a Bolivar, in the backyard as the ambulance came up.
Way to go.
7 o'clock, and we knew he was gone. And his daughter, Gigi, got in touch with me soon after. She said, I have a bunch of his watches and a car, something you'd be interested in. I said, look, I'm interested in everything. Well, apparently I'm not getting this watch, but Gigi has given it to the folks at Philips. Sometime around the release of Grand Prix, Garner, who'd previously gotten his big break starring on 5 seasons of Maverick and would later lead the Rockford Files, acquired this 2-register Heuer Carrera wristwatch with a 45-minute counter at 3 o'clock and his name on the dial. I showed you this watch.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's that beautiful black Carrera. They're small, they're beautiful, and it says James Garner on the dial. And it's going up for auction June 11th to June 12th, Phillips Auction House. Those are the guys who sell those monster Daytonas, who set the record for the monster Daytona.
Wow.
Remember
Newman Daytona.
Yeah, it was a Paul Newman. What did I say?
You said one of the giant Daytonas. It was Paul Newman's.
It was literally Paul Newman, and this is going to benefit James Garner Animal Rescue Fund. And if you got the dough, I mean, who knows what this is going to go for? That's
going to go big.
It's normally not an expensive watch. None
of those watches were expensive in the day.
But I mean, they're like I think they're only about $20,000 or $30,000 without the name James Garner on it. But this one will go for big money, don't you think?
I wouldn't even begin to opine.
You have
not my field.
You have a watch that Phillips is champing at the bit to get, Jerry.
How do you know?
Huh?
We know.
What do you mean?
Everyone knows that.
Really?
Yes.
You've posted about it. You talked about it.
Well, certainly open to conversation.
Why don't
we can all converse.
There's always something to talk about.
What is it? Tell everybody what it is.
It's Vic Elford's Rolex Daytona that was given to him by Rolex in 1968 when he won the Daytona 24 hours in a Porsche 907. The first time a Porsche ever won a 24-hour race.
You have the car.
You have the watch.
You have the watch.
The car, you have the watch. What will you do? What will you do?
And the greatest thing was you were so reluctant.
That's him, right? That's Vic Elford.
That's Vic, yeah.
Yeah.
That's you talking to him in 98 at Pebble Beach. One of the listeners just sent that in.
Yeah.
Remember how reluctant Jerry was to get that watch? You pretty much had to beat him over the head.
He literally had to put me in a headlock to get me to buy that.
When you're new to the watch thing, you don't understand what's happening and what's going on. How can that little thing be worth anything? But yeah, that is something Phillips would lose their mind to get. Ben Clymer helped out with it, as I recall.
He did. He went through it. He changed the crystal. I think wasn't correct, and he found a bubble crystal that was correct for that watch. And it runs like a watch. Yeah, like a Swiss watch.
You'll keep that forever.
Yeah.
The greatest watch ever.
He brings it out sometimes where it Bill's on the porch and just puts it on the table, and then we all wear it. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
The greatest, though, is his first immediate reaction to getting that watch.
What was that?
It's a piece of shit. It'll never see the light of day ever again.
Why did you tell me to buy this?
It'll never see the light.
If I could trade that for a car so fast.
What do you mean?
I
don't say that into this microphone. What do you mean?
If there's a car out there, I don't know what car we're talking about, but I would trade that watch for a car in a second.
Oh my God! There goes our DMs.
How did he say that?
Because it doesn't do anything for me. I'm not a Rolex guy.
I would never want to call you a cretin, but that's a cretinous statement.
Really?
Yes. It goes with the car.
You're sitting on a multi-million-dollar thing. It's got racing lineage.
Right.
It's got Vic Elford, and then it has you.
Right. Okay.
Do you know the worth of that
together.
thing?
Okay, fine.
Fine.
It's got the car.
The car. The watch.
Whatever you do, if you ever do sell the car, don't put the watch with it. Do two separate things.
This is the thing that Spike explained to me. I found very interesting. Don't sell the watch and the car together because it's two different worlds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you want to maximize your money,
it's going to be
more.
Or more. Get the most. We need more.
Zuckerman loves when I say or more.
Or more. Oh boy.
But our friend Steve Serio from Sports Car Market, who we had dinner with last night, was explaining to us, just talking about how hot the market is these days. Is that lockdown heat, you think? Or you think, or is it electric tech coming? Heat? Why is the car market hot?
It's like the perfect storm. There's multiple factors. We're locked in. There's inflation. There's been an injection of money into the system that went into the hands of people that already have money. And yes,
we're feeling crazy.
And we're feeling crazy.
And we want to grab things.
And we want to buy things.
And we realize life is short. And maybe we've lost someone. Maybe someone's gone. Maybe we don't even think the world's going to last.
Right.
I've bought like 10 tennis rackets in the last 48 hours. None of them have been delivered, and I only need one. Right. I just keep buying different colors. Raffas and arrows and pure strikes.
And it's a Carpe Diem. It's Carpe Diem.
And I have to say, and I don't want to admit it, I'm swayed by the crowd, but when other people are buying, I want to get buying too.
Me too, yeah. Yes. Well, that's just... social mobism.
Tulip craze.
When you buy a car, it makes me want to buy a car.
Yes.
Did you want to buy it after we got the Touring? Did you want to buy a car?
When he got the Cadillac, I wanted to buy it. When he buys something stupid, it gets me
stupid.
If he can be stupid, why can't I?
I can be stupid too. I can be stupid better.
He thinks he's stupid. I'll show him stupid.
Yeah.
I'll buy a 2.0 69S that's worse than the car I have.
Show him.
See?
I'll call Dennis
Glavis. He's bringing over that car.
That car drive it again. Has a hypnotic hold on me. I admit it. Dennis, if you're listening, that 63 Morgan Super Sport in his showroom, you can't need anything less. You can't. There's nothing you could need less than this car. But it's romantic.
Yeah,
and that would all end the minute you buy it. And that's why you have to continue this very long courtship of this car. All the fun is gone the minute
Dennis
you get it.
Dennis is going to bring it over.
Yes, right. It's being walking up to the line like a sandpiper.
Yes.
Sandpipering, walking up to the shore.
Running down in the breaking wave and then running back.
You're not put off that the car is still for sale after you didn't buy it a year ago?
It only makes it more restoration in that time period.
What?
Just sitting there, it needs another restoration.
It is so beautiful, though.
Yeah.
I thought if we could get it out at Santa Monica Airport, out of traffic, that's how you enjoy that car. Just blasting down the runway and the side of the runway, watching planes take off. That might help you decide.
Well, look, I'm here for a while. Dennis is a good friend.
He's putting it together.
We'll put it together.
He had a little heat stroke today.
You've never seen it.
Never.
I'd like to get your take of it.
Oh, boy.
If it appeals to you.
Yeah.
And it's something that you would feel, gee, I wish I had that, then that'll make me want to get it.
Zuckerman would really enjoy
the aesthetic, really like it.
But the second he sat in it, he would be done.
Don't you think it's like his Mercedes? What's that Mercedes 300 SL you have?
Yes, the Roadster.
Yeah, you know that feeling you have in that car, the kind of Brahmin.
Yes, you have a ride.
Long hood.
Yes,
you know that the car
Rich
arrives a week before you do.
Yes,
that's what the Morgan has.
Much lower to the ground.
You can touch the pavement from the driver's seat. You can just reach outside the door and touch the pavement.
And you're not going to go 100, that's for sure.
No. Even though the car will do it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a Triumph 4-cylinder. It's a TR3A engine, which is crude. And if you're a 356 person, you're used to very refined little motors that spin happily and make nice sounds when they run. This car... It makes a nice little growl, but you could just see you could visualize the pistons rattling in the combustion chambers.
Yeah.
So loosely fitted are they.
With a compression of 3 to 1.
Yeah.
Your feet were getting hot in it because the heat's blown up.
We should have a Drive Stupid Cars Day.
We did, Spike and I already did that.
Yeah, we did one. It was great.
Slow and Stupid. That was our theme, yeah.
Yeah. Probably one of the least liked posts I put on Instagram.
I enjoyed
But you loved that car. You enjoyed that car.
The MGB, right?
I did.
MG Midget.
MG Midget. I did like it a lot. I did like it.
By the way, the 69 VW Bug, the Sam Beige car.
Yeah.
There was absolutely nothing wrong with that car. Everybody was screwing with the choke. There was nothing wrong with it. Johnny, just let it sit for a minute. I drove it today. It's perfect.
And then it started up.
Yeah, starts and runs perfect.
Some sort of vapor lock?
No, it was just everybody was trying to adjust the idle, and The car didn't like it.
Let me do an ad, then we'll do questions. And then we have one more little ad to do. We can do another question. And then we'll have a show. Listeners, this probably won't surprise you, but I've never been a big art guy. Are you an art guy, Jerry? Do you buy art?
No.
You have no art?
My wife has.
She has art.
She likes
her art.
You know, there was a Picasso painting that sold for over $100 million in 2021. That's a lot of zeros. Not only that, art appreciation has outpaced the S&P 500 since 1995. Do you think art appreciation has outpaced the car business? Probably, right?
It might have, yeah. It might have. Because most of it's fake.
Yes.
Which isn't...
That's a tremendous appreciation on a counterfeit Picasso.
Yes. Just like the cars. Which isn't that surprising considering some billionaires have been laughing all the way to the bank and investing in art for centuries. But this should put a smile on your face. Now you can get art just like Bezos, just like Jerry's wife. And I'm not talking about having a messy divorce. Oh, these jokes.
Laughing all the way to the bank. Stop saying that.
Stop saying it. And they wrote zing. I'm talking about investing in blue chip artwork with Masterworks. Masterworks is unlocking the once exclusive contemporary art market so you can add paintings from iconic artists like Warhol, Basquiat, three of my favorite, Banksy, to your portfolio. They might be the only three artists I know, and I like them all. I like that Basquiat movie, too. Masterworks is going to give you guys, the listeners, priority access to their newest offerings. Just go to masterworks.io/Spike911. Masterworks.io/Spike911 and see important disclaimers at masterworks.io/ masterworks.io/disclaimer. Disclaimer number one.
We are not responsible for
I like that Spike 911 is next to Warhol and Basquiat and Banksy and Portfolio. We like those guys. Everybody, isn't that kind of like the NFT, buying a piece of a painting, except you'd actually have a piece of something real.
Oh, so that's what this is?
You get a fractional share in a picture. You get to visit.
Good idea for a business. I like it.
Right?
Yeah, if you're the one selling it.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld, first question from Dear Zuckerman. How do you structure your writing sessions? Specifically, how do you balance writing versus editing your work? Do you separate the process of generating ideas from refining them?
Wow,
or do both
great question. I don't think it's appropriate to a car show.
Oh, we talk about entertainment all the time, Jerry.
Okay, that is exactly... First of all, this person doesn't need any advice from me. They have already given proper thought to everything that you need to do to be a writer. Structure your session, have a idea generation aspect to your work, and a editing, refining aspect. But however you want to do it is fine. But those are the three main aspects. A structured session. Mm-hmm. If you like that, my friend Colin Quinn just writes all day. He has his stuff out. He wanders in his office. He wanders out all day long. He's in and out. I could never do that. I have to sit and go, okay, here's the problem. Let's solve it.
Yeah.
But yeah, write until the energy concludes, and then either go to something else. I like to work on 3 or 4 things at a time. So whatever attracts my interest and seems like fun to do right now, I do that. When you're writing, you want to have fun. When you're editing, you want to be a prick. You want to be tough. You want to be mean. Mm-hmm. You want to go, that's not good enough. Mm-hmm. Cross it out. So it's both of those things, and we do that every day when we write. Right? We have our fun, and then we go, okay, now let's grow up. What's good here tomorrow. And what's crap?
Yeah, we'll be doing it tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
that's the first thing we do. And you also want to have your hand hovering on the record button of the Zoom just to try to catch the inappropriate comment. Always miss. This is for both of you, all of us, but anybody just jump in from Porsches. How has your appreciation or view on cars changed over your lifetime? Did relationships, children, family change your taste in cars?
Wow, great question. Paul, would you like to take that one?
And I've always contrasted the two of us. You had a fully formed and developed sense of what a car was about and what you liked about a car when you were a teenager.
Or even before.
Maybe before. And me, I was attracted to loud and muscle car, right? I was caught up in that, and it took me a long time to get a more refined sense of what I liked, and I will still do something stupid like get that 70 Cadillac.
But did life affect your car choices?
Yeah, in the sense that no, I never let kids get in the way of cars. And in fact, when I had my first kid, I bought my wife a 62 Impala Super Sport without seatbelts. I don't know, that was, really, was I trying to kill the two of them? But
it sounds cool.
Yeah, it was a great car, black with a red interior.
Wow.
But actually, so I would say Steve Levy and you, Spike Ferguson, meeting you guys, connoisseurs, and actually wanting to talk to you about cars.
I know the different ages my kids have influenced my choices a lot. Like, I would buy goofy family cars that I knew would be fun to drive in.
But that's not your real taste. That's just fun things to do.
No, but it affects it. I do take into consideration, like, would this be fun to put everybody in?
Right.
Like, I remember driving Moises. What is he got, that big ass Mercedes there?
The Benz, the 3.5.
It was really fun, and it started me thinking about, why don't I have something like that just to pop everybody in for trips here and there. The Volkswagen Beetle that you told me I might not have bought had it not been for I was going to a lot of little kids' birthday parties, and this would be really fun in it. You're blaring the sirens and doing it, and now I'm getting back to the stuff that I like. This is James telling me he's negative.
Do you think I'm correct, Jerry, that you've always you've stayed the same in your
Yes, I've always appreciated fine advanced engineering. And what is this feeling when you drive? How do I feel? Is this like a fine instrument, or is it a coarse instrument? And is it the leading edge of what's possible now? What could be done? And when I was a kid, with the amount of money I had to buy a car, which was about $2,000, the Fiats of the late 60s and early 70s were very advanced cars for small, inexpensive cars. I mean, way more fun and interesting than the Japanese stuff. There's nothing American you could even talk about. And the British stuff had suddenly become passé. 65, 66, 67, MGs, Triumphs, fantastic. By 69, it was over. There was just so they couldn't keep up. But I have a 73 Fiat 128 Sport that is still a really fun, nice car to drive. Efficient, well-engineered.
Did you buy that first car before you could drive?
No. I had my parents' 62 Rambler. I was driving that.
Before you could drive?
The Rambler.
Before I could own a car.
Those are great.
My
girlfriend had was that the one with the push button transmission?
Yes, I had that.
Oh, my girlfriend had that car. I loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Odd.
It broke down. Maybe I love the girl. Maybe
it's the girl. The car
but I loved the push buttons.
Really?
I thought that was really interesting.
To the left of the steering
There wasn't much where I was.
And by the way, now in your GT3, what do you push to change the transmission from reverse to drive? You push a button.
Yeah. No.
Oh, you don't?
No, I've got
you
that.
You do
on the stick that you have to push the button on top of the ball.
That stick is like the 2015 GT3. I'm doing all my shifting on that PDK. I'm so happy that is a PDK. So happy. So happy. Let me read the last ad, and then we're going to do some more questions here, because there's a really good question coming up for Jerry, and I can't wait to hear the answer. And it must be addressed at this point. But first, we're going to talk.
Tease it what it's about for the.
It's about your It's about your sneakers, Jerry. So you can prepare an answer. Let's talk about Graphene Nano Spray Coating 303. Keep your car looking its absolutely best year-round with 303 cleaners and protectants. 303's revolutionary Graphene Nano Spray Coating gives you professional protection in a simple-use spray formula. It will keep your car's paint protected for up to 12 months and give you an insane level of depth and gloss. I know this because I'm using it right now. It's fantastic for those quick cleans, that I like to do in my driveway. You can also use their brand new 303 Graphene Detailer to boost protection.
Graphene.
And shine.
Fine graphene.
It can even be used for quick clean of ups and downs of dust and fingerprints. It is really amazing. I use it all the time for 1-2 punch to keep your car looking at protecting it, keeping it looking its best. Go check it out at 303radio.com. 303radio.com. 303 products. The Graphene Nano Spray Coating is the one you want. protection, an easy-to-use formula. It will also keep your car's paint protected for up to 12 months and gives an insane level of depth and gloss. And it's protective against those weird, that we get out here, those yellow things.
Yeah, the yellow dots.
Right, this time of year, the yellow
shit.
The yellow dots.
Yeah.
But it's not from bees.
No, it is. It's bee shit.
But Zuckerman, look, I can leave my car in my driveway now for like 10 minutes and there's 30 of them. Are there that many bees?
It's cold springtime. Birds and bees.
Oh, it's such a small space, just dropping bombs like that?
Yeah.
Has that been proven?
Yes.
Because when it hardens...
Why don't you Google it?
I don't have time.
Siri.
Here we go. Low-end garage in Chicago. Now, this is because I've been, taking pictures of my sneakers, my Clays, my new vegan.
Yeah.
I'm one of their ambassadors now, I guess. And I took a picture once again. But every time, really, that I take a picture of you, you're wearing Nike Shox.
Yeah, I like Nike Shox.
I think Jerry has to address his admiration for Nike Shox. People are apparently noticing they are. And how does one drive a manual with a square Shox heel? But first, what is it about the Nike Shox?
Well, I have had terrible foot problems for most of my life. Cured recently. I mean, I'm 67. I suffered from my mid-30s till my early 60s with plantar fasciitis until I met Dr. Joseph D'Amico, 333 West 57th Street, who was the greatest podiatrist for the art and science of designing orthotics, and he cured me. When you see me on the TV series, you'll see me wearing those boots I wore a lot because they had a steel shank. It was the only thing that would relieve the pain. Virtually every step that I took, when you watch me on that show, I am in pain.
Really?
Yeah. And I was cured by Dr. Joseph D'Amico. But that has nothing to do with why I like Nike Shox, because I like that little extra shock absorption. I have terrible feet and a lot of pain, but now I'm completely pain-free. And so I don't mess around with other sneakers. I just like them. I walk around Manhattan a lot. It's a lot of hard pavement, and I like the shock absorption.
Do they still sell them new, or are they just making them for you?
They're not easy to get. It's hard to get them, but they're still a great shoe.
And how do you get them?
I call Nike.
He's got a little smile on his face. You saw that.
I call Nike.
There was a little grin.
Oh.
Hello, Nike.
Don't
Jerry.
you call Nike?
Sure.
Send me some Shox, eh?
Right now.
I need them now.
And do they send you a selection to pick from, or you just take whatever they send?
I take whatever they got. I love them all.
I would, I think, obviously, too, there's just a little hint of funny to them. When you're wearing them, they're funny and they're good for your comedic, right?
Well, sure.
You don't want to look too cool.
It was the Boeing shoe when it first came out.
Yeah.
The commercial would show a guy running, boing, boing, boing.
I prefer you in slightly funny things. I've seen you dressed up properly, and it's like, oh, that's the less funny Jerry. The Shox adds an element of comedy to it. You said it famously to me, and it really hit me like a ton of something else.
Don't do it.
That
Stop yourself.
Looking funny is halfway there. You're halfway to being funny. It's true.
Yeah, although I like stand-up comedy in a black suit. I find, because to me a black suit's funny. It's funny to see a silly guy in a very serious suit.
Getting angry.
Yeah. I don't like these comedians with these raking leaves jackets. Why is every comedy special, the guy's got a fall raking leaves jacket, like from Dads and Grads, like a Nordstrom ad?
It makes
with
no
the
sense.
Zip up. Where are you going?
The barn jacket? Is that what you're talking about?
Where are you going that you need a jacket? Either get dressed for the evening to perform for people, or go where you're going. To me, a jacket is like I'm on my way somewhere else.
So when you go to a club in New York, are you wearing a suit when you just walk
a sport jacket, jeans, sneakers, sport jacket.
Jeans, sneakers, Shox.
Sport jacket's funny.
Okay.
A sport jacket pulls any outfit together you have. If you're wearing a t-shirt and jeans and sneakers, you put on a little sport jacket, especially if it's nice, people think you look good, even though you don't.
A collar. Or no collar.
You don't even. It depends on your age. You know, my feeling about older gentlemen should have a collar.
Right.
Unless it's over 90 degrees. Do not go out over 60 without a collar. You don't look good.
I really love the rules. Leno's got rules like that too.
Endless rules.
I would love to just get all of these rules, Letterman's rules of life.
Yeah, all made up on the fly.
Great books.
Yeah.
They're good books.
No thought behind any of them.
Estevez Breton. We know that guy. What important event in the history of Porsche would you have liked to have been part of?
Oh, what a great question.
We have the greatest listeners.
Easy for me. Targa Florio, 1970, 9083 wins with Vic Elford and Joe Sifford at the wheel.
Wow. Amazing.
You got one?
Yeah, but it's horrible. I want to see when Ferdinand comes back from prisoner of war camp to Gmünd, Austria,
That's
and
horrible.
then dies.
Right, 1951.
Yes.
The old man, yeah.
They finally let him out.
The French put him in a thing. I think they were trying to get him to design a new Renault for them.
Right.
And when he refused, they just let him cool his heels for 2 years.
Go home.
We'll let you out just before you die. That's a good one.
I'd like to be invited to somebody.
What about Ferry Porsche's wedding?
Somebody's wedding. I was just saying. There's a wedding I want to go to. And I'd like to bring my camera. And I'd like to take some pictures. And then maybe I'd like to see Le Mans and 917's race. For the first
that's
time.
A good one,
That would be
Spike.
sweet.
That's a great one.
That would be sweet. Let's see. There's no way to answer this question. What's the best Porsche color of all time?
That's a good question.
The best is judgment.
You could say more.
What is the most traditional color? White?
Your favorite?
What's your
White?
favorite?
What's my favorite? Probably those 917. I don't know. Silver, I'd say. I'd stick with silver.
Depends
There's
on
so
the
many
era.
great silver cars.
Snore.
I know. Okay, so
The early ones are silver.
We just did a beautiful color. It would be somewhere in the blues.
I got one for you.
Your Mexico blue
Fish
car.
silver gray, made with
amazing
real
color.
fish scales in the early 50s.
Really?
My
Yes.
51, fish silver gray. Yeah.
What kind of fish?
I don't know. Whatever fish volunteered to do it.
Is it really true?
Yeah, real
Don't
fish
you want to know
scales.
what kind of fish?
I'd be good to know that, yeah. Google it.
You won't have to. Somebody is going to send it to
Right.
us after they listen to this show.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Mexico blue is the greatest Porsche color of all time.
It's unreal. Yeah. Riviera blue the other night at Bill's was really
It's a
outstanding.
derivative, but of that.
glowing, just glowing
Yeah.
in that shot, right? Just glowing.
And your service RS, what is that? Tangerine.
Tangerine.
What about what was the other orange of that era?
Well, there was Signal Orange.
Viper green.
Oh, of
Viper
course.
green and Mexico blue are the two greatest
those-
colors.
73 RSs and 74s are great for vibrant colors.
Ratium is great. The sky blue of the early 911.
Ratium green, yeah.
Yeah.
The early Speedster. What about Speedster blue, 1954?
Yeah, killer.
Right.
That's
I think
a
every
good one,
decade has its own color.
Yeah.
It was hard. We're speccing this GT4 RS out, and we, thought we were pros, and we went down a wormhole just like anybody else. And the three of us were going back and forth, and
Nothing easier to make yourself crazy.
yeah, it's hard.
Trying to make
Because-
the quote-unquote right decision.
Yeah, because every color is going to look different. When you look at it, it hits your cones and rods. And
Do you know how I did it? Aside from consulting the both of you, this car will have a Weissach package. So I was Googling paint to sample GT2 RSs and just looking at Google image search and waiting for me to go, oh, like that, and taking all my oohs. There were about 10 of them. And then slowly the next day looking again, ooh, wow. And then it was 5, and then it was down to 3, and then they were all the same. But I think we made the right choice. I think you'll like it. But that's really the only way, is that first moment of looking at it. You don't think about it too much.
Right.
Do you like it? Do you not like it? Right? And we spec'd it out just like that. It's going to be good. Jerry gave the 912 high marks on a recent episode and would love to hear more about his 912 ownership experience.
I happen to just acquire a 68 912 with 30,000 miles on it from Italy in Bahama yellow. And I drove it today. It needs to be gone through. The clutch is bad. It needs a tune-up, but it's in great shape. But when you get in a 912, you can just drive it hard and it's fun, and it goes fast, and it's light, and it's honestly, it's better than any other 60s 911. Because if you like that feeling of lightness and
balance,
tossability, balance, it feels cheap and easy, and it's just fun.
It's those 2 cylinders cut off the back of the engine makes such a difference in the car, the handling, the characteristic of it.
And where the engine is placed, if you open the lid, you see, it's way forward from where a 911 engine is from the 6.
That car.
We need one, Spike.
Yeah, but it's not just any 912.
You have to get the right one.
We happened to be together when that car was delivered down to the airport, and remember we took a right and it was just sitting there, and went, oh my God, it's all original paint, right?
Yeah.
He had another great one. What happened to that one?
The green one?
Yes, sir.
I sold it to Sam.
Sam Cabiglio?
Yes.
Cabiglio. The guy.
That was another great.
That was a great car. Irish green, hard window Targa. What do you want? A hard window Targa, soft, or coupe? You don't care.
I do care, except for the fact that the greatness of it. I would put a priority on how great is the car before what iteration.
Not easy to find.
Right.
They were bought. They were inexpensive. People bought them and used them.
Yeah.
Arts VW, thoughts on the Carmen Ghia? Now that air-cooled Porsches are demanding obscene money, will they ever become worth more than a Beetle in similar condition? We love those cars. Right?
Love the Carmen Ghia.
You still have one, right?
I do. I have a Carmen Ghia with a 912 engine and a 911 suspension.
Wow.
And it's really great. 63 sea blue hardtop.
Mm-hmm.
But you feel like you're in a sports car. I love them.
I like Type 34s also.
You like those? The Razor?
Yeah. Those are cool looking.
Yeah. I've had a few of those pass under my nose. Nice ones. I didn't know you...
Yeah, I like the front end of that car.
Right.
The front end is so beautiful to me.
Spike, is Matt Farah coming back to your podcast? Will he ever come back?
No.
Will he ever be invited back
these
days? As Jerry so eloquently put it earlier than this moment, nothing that happens on a podcast matters.
Nothing that has to do with cars matters.
Nothing that has to do with cars. Yes, of course Matt will be coming back. We love Matt, and no little argument is going to be a problem. Yeah, he'll be back soon. I want to have Sam. His name came up, and we did such a good show with him.
Yeah, that was a great show we did at Bill's.
Yeah,
I want to bring him back because I'm learning about podcasts. I've been listening to this one and others because I drive to work. We have to drive to Hollywood every day, and people like stories. And Sam has great stories.
Yes, he does.
From back in the day.
Yeah, and he tells them well. Any car you ask him about, he'll tell you a story. I was in Europe one time and I had one of those.
Like that
and
agent of yours.
I had to get to Lisbon by nightfall.
Yeah.
I was married to Elvis Costello while driving this car.
She used to tell me that when he would have those little Sony TVs, and when something would come on the TV that he didn't like, he would throw the TV through the window. And it would smash down to the ground.
All lies.
Really?
Yeah, all lies, I guess. I don't know. Maybe she was married to him. I don't know. St. Clair will know.
St. Clair. He must have been using somebody else's desk, right? And that was the guy's office, and he was just needed a stapler, right?
It was the greatest introduction to show business.
That is true of show business now.
Yeah.
Yes. It's damn hot.
Whose desk is that?
Damn hot.
Who was that? Who was that guy?
I don't know. He's just going through my desk. This is a good question. It was 103 today here in LA. So how do you choose a car to drive around in? Anybody. I'm here in the Defender. And,
I don't care about air conditioning.
Really?
You
Even
don't?
on a day like today?
What?
Even on a day like today?
Yeah. I like to turn that vent window on myself because my first car in LA was a Fiat 124 sedan.
Yeah.
I put those vent windows right on me, and if you're moving, you're fine. Yeah, you're schwitzing, but it's a hot day. So what?
Schwitzing.
I had to have lunch at the Polo Lounge today. I needed to drive in something with air conditioning, and the car I had was the 98 Turbo.
And
the ocean blue metallic, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was driving air-cooled turbo. Air conditioning was working just fine.
Sure.
And I right up to the Beverly Hills Hotel. It was fantastic.
That's nice. Well, by then they had it sorted out.
And what's great is these valet guys know. They know who to give the ticket to, and they know who not to give the ticket to, right? They know they can just take the car, and the guy's going to grease him. And and they just have my number. The minute I pull up, they don't give me a ticket. Sir, we'll keep it close by.
I like that.
Yeah.
Question for you, Zuckerman. Ninja 09 would love to hear you compare the E39 M5 and the M2 CS, since they are generally considered the best Bimmers of their respective eras.
They are so completely different in development. What's common is the thickness of the steering wheel, the great BMW seat position. Yes, there's a commonality in how you drive and how you're sitting and how you're feeling, but no, in terms of power and it's just, how many years is that? That's 20 some odd years of development.
More, isn't it? Is that the first M3, the one with the fat fenders?
No, they're talking about E39, which is the white M5 that I have from 2002. And so, you're talking 20 years of development. Yeah. One's naturally aspirated. It's a big car. It's 4-door. The other one is that little 2-door, and it's turbocharged. But you're in a BMW. That's for sure.
718 Spider RS, real or imaginary?
Real.
Very real.
Real.
Very real. That one we do have some information on.
Yeah.
They've been blabbing about that, and I'm sure they don't mind us saying it. Get ready. What is a brand that throughout your life you guys have done a complete 180 on? For better or for worse?
For me, it would be Mercedes diesels. Something I had no understanding of what in the 80s, why anyone would drive something like that. And now I just love them. Because I missed that moment in time when people thought technology was had come to a standstill, and they just were focusing on quality.
Right.
And it wasn't thought that, we're going to need a whole new chassis, and everything's going to have to change every few years. So I missed that era. It was such a... it was so ordered, Everybody knew Mercedes was the best. There was no question about it. There was no better car you could buy. But I didn't understand them, and now I love them.
Zuckerman?
Well, for me, it was a Volkswagen Bug. I never,
that's a good one.
I never got that car as a young person. Never wanted anything to do with it. Maybe I thought hippies or something silly, that it was past its prime, and now I've grown to appreciate.
Really?
Yeah. Now
this is news to me.
You didn't know that?
No,
I never said it. As a younger person, I thought, who would want one of those?
But what about the cheeky advertising? That must
was
have appealed
before
to
my
you.
time. That was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A little younger. So,
right.
I didn't get it. Seemed like something so before my time.
If you read about the young life of Ferdinand, the father,
right,
living in this little town in Austria and figuring out how to get electricity into his house when no one in his neighborhood had it, and his father comes home one night and the entire house is lit up. He builds a generator and I don't even know what the hell you need, but he electrified the house. As a teenager. The only house on the block, the only house in the town that had electricity. And how brilliant this guy was. And he was completely nuts. Total spectrum guy, I'm sure. And when he developed this idea of the flat 4 engine in the back and, to maximize the passenger compartment, the aerodynamic considerations, the lightness, all of those ideas were so completely unusual to their time. The guy really was a genius.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool. And
he had influence on Mercedes, on Ferrari. He really touched every major car maker before he had his own company.
Yeah, and couldn't hold a job at any of those companies. He was completely impossible.
One guy saw his genius and asked him to make the Volkswagen, the people's car. We know
well,
who
that was
was
a competition amongst several people.
Yes.
And they liked his design the best.
For me, it's the Tesla. It was so easy for me to make fun of Tesla just by reading what other people thought. And then I drove it, and now I like them.
I really like that. Them. What is it called? The Model 3?
The Model 3, Model Y.
No, I like the 3. I think the design of that 3 is just fantastic.
When you have $8 gas...
He has sold so many more.
When you have all these Porsche Connect problems, and then you get in that thing, and everything just works, and you don't have to do anything but put it in drive.
Did he blow out 300,000 cars in the first quarter of this year? I was reading something about how, yes, he's on track to have a 1 million car year soon.
Are the Germans going to catch him?
No, they are not. No, they're dead.
Wow.
I think they know they can't because it's... there's this technology issue that they're so far behind on.
How?
Their cars drive better than the Teslas drive, but
Teslas look like they handle really well.
Not the type of driving we like to do, but when they do that, whoever can pull that off, that's it. Whoever can do the tech.
But isn't the Taycan like that?
It doesn't have the app, and it just doesn't have that. It's just got the Porsche tech in it, the mess of Porsche tech. The Tesla is a thing. It's the iPhone.
Right.
And you're talking about flip phones that maybe have the same shape.
Right.
That's the analogy I would use. Everybody just wants an iPhone, and once you have that experience, it's hard to go into the other stuff.
Right.
But they don't yet have the driving experience. And the Taycan, they've engineered the Porsche drive feel into an electric car for the first time, and that is something. Mm-hmm. They just need to steal some of Tesla's... programming guys, software
I'm
guys.
sure there's been plenty of car companies that have thought about buying Tesla, but cannot given the market valuation.
I think it's too late.
Unbelievable. Started with those little Lotus Elises, right? It was a joke.
Yeah, joke. 2008 was the first time I saw one of those.
Right.
And I just thought, stupid.
Those cars have value now.
Really?
People want those. Sure. Look at what they became.
It is a good question. Do those electric cars, are they collectible?
Those cars, I have seen them knocking around. People want them. The first Tesla.
Like buying the first Apple computer?
Yeah, there's a market for that too.
Yeah.
How big of a market?
Not big, but there's always nuts out there that want things.
Well, that's our show.
As we say, as we look down on other nuts. There's always these nuts. Look who's talking.
You got to know it.
Zuckerman, thank you for inviting us out here tonight. It's gorgeous. First warm night, Baldwin Hills, this beautiful view, your beautiful house, the Mexican food. Jerry, listeners always freak out when you show up here on the show.
It's always a pleasure, Spike. Thanks for having me on.
We love having you here. Your wisdom and your knowledge, his historical knowledge of I'm always impressed with it.
Absolutely.
And, of course, you guys listening, we love you, man. The best listeners in all of automotive podcasting. We'll see you next week, Spike's Car Radio.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.